Welcome to the Center Leader Podcast, where our goal is to encourage you to live life as a leader centered on Christ. I am your host, Kurt Corcoran, and today we are continuing our series, Staff Stories, and today I am privileged, honored, so grateful to be in the presence of Trevor Havard.
Whoa.
The Trevor Havard. Is that how you say your last name?
That is how you say my last name.
Yes.
I thought you were going to ask if that's how people if that's how I introduce myself. I was going to say yes.
Yes.
I'm the Trevor
Havard. Trevor is on staff here at Centerpoint, and he is. What is your official title?
I am the middle school pastor.
Middle school pastor. And how long have you been on staff for?
June of 2023. So going on 2 years, but a little over a year and a half for now.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then so kind of tell us a little bit about even before your faith journey, and because we'll ask that question of how you came to faith and kind of just a fly review of that. Kind of tell us a little bit about what brought you to Centerpoint, how you got to Centerpoint.
Oh, okay. So essentially, I knew that I wanted to go, once I began following Jesus, I knew I wanted to go into ministry. And so I kind of walked that journey of surrendering to that over the span of probably 7 or 8 years. But once I got here, or before I got here, my father-in-law was in ministry, and he worked with a company called Vanderbloemen. And so he connected me with a guy there, and essentially got in conversation with him, told him my story, told him the kind of ministry I was looking for, and eventually found Centerpoint. And so that's how I ended up here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I hope that's what you were looking for.
No, absolutely. And then you have 2 kids?
Yes.
Right.
Annabelle, she is almost 4, and Matthew is almost 2.
Wow.
Like next month, he'll be 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no sleep.
Not much.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm honest, I get pretty good sleep.
Pretty good sleep. There you go. Good. What for you? What is your favorite snack currently?
Currently, probably. This is actually unusual, but right now it's probably brownies.
Brownies?
Or those cookies that we got a couple weeks ago. I've been snacking on some cookie dough.
Oh, yeah. Kim Boston gave the staff a whole jar of cookie dough.
Yeah, and it's almost gone.
I've been eating it raw.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I do not, what do you say? Do not promote that. Do not encourage that.
Disclaimers.
It is frowned upon, although the stuff in the store now, it says you can eat raw.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. No, it's on the package, I promise.
What about the one we have?
I don't know.
Okay. Well.
So we could die, but you got to die.
Don't do what we do. Do what we say.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your faith journey and kind of flyover view. You don't have to go super in depth, but just kind of how you came to know Christ and encounter Christ.
Yeah, so I grew up going to church. I did some math on it for a sermon a few weeks back. I don't remember the exact number, but it was in the thousands of times that I sat in and heard a message or heard the gospel, or whether it was Sunday school, Awanas, whatever it was. It was thousands of times that I heard the gospel growing up. But through some circumstances in my life, I just became hyper religious. Just really wanted to please my parents, and kind of associated God with that in some way, where if I thought I did the right things, that God was pleased with me. And then when I was a young teenager and would do dumb stuff, I would just thought God was mad and hated me. And so I walked that, and it was very difficult because I really did want to please God, but I was looking at Him with the wrong lens completely. And so my junior year of high school, I had been walking essentially the way I lived my life was for a month or so, I'd be in the Word, serving at church, and then the next month I'd be going to a party, or just saying cuss words or whatever you have it. But there's a specific situation my junior year of high school where I found myself in some trouble with a group of guys, and it felt like the lowest moment, the most embarrassing moment of my life. I got kicked off sports teams and all those things, and it was through that I was in my room one evening. My parents took everything away from me. And I was it felt like a midlife crisis. What am I going to do with my life? But I just felt like the Holy Spirit spoke to me. It's at first I remember asking this question of why can I not just figure this out and just be consistent to love God? And it's the Holy Spirit spoke to me. It was well, that's the whole reason why you need Jesus is because you'll never be able to do it on your own. And so it was like through that situation in my junior year that I really surrendered and like began to understand the gospel and like my need for Christ. And then, since then it's been a journey. So definitely would say that my junior year of high school is when I was transformed by Jesus.
Yeah, that was a pivotal moment for you.
Absolutely.
Stuff of that nature. And it's funny that you say, like talking back about your early days and kind of how you wanted to please your parents and kind of had that view, because I think a lot of people, especially if you grew up, if you're listening to this or watching this, if you grew up in and around church, you probably have that similar thought process of you're trying to please your parents, or you just want to make your parents proud. And especially with you, Trevor, I mean, I've known you for 4 months now, but you are a very loyal person. I know that about you. So, and I'm sure that even goes back to with your parents, who you're wanting to be loyal to them and loyal to God, but that constant struggle, right, and that fight that you're feeling. Yeah. So that's cool to hear, that viewpoint and stuff of that nature. So the question that I want to ask you next is this: what is your favorite movie?
Ooh.
You thought it was going to be like super spiritual.
Yeah, I did. Right? I was like, what am I going to say? And people might judge me for this.
Well, before we get there, so there's something that I need to
tell
everybody.
No. I already know where you're going.
So when our first time hanging out with Trevor, the Gladiator 2 had just come out.
Yeah. Amazing movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, great movie, right?
If I understood most of it.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, Trevor, you want to go see Gladiator 2? He's like, what's that? I was like, have you seen Gladiator 1? And he's like, what's that? And I was like, have you lived in America? And he's like, what's that?
Been under a rock, yeah.
No, so I feel privileged, though. I feel privileged that I got to.
Yeah, what's the quote from the first one that you said? Have you not?
Oh, are you not entertained?
Yeah, are you not entertained? I was like, oh yeah, I've heard that. I didn't know where it came from.
Oh my gosh, that blew my mind. Yeah. But I'm just glad that we've made it past that
We did.
point.
We're friends now.
Yeah. Favorite movie?
Ooh. All right, so I'm definitely...
The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, that, The Chosen. I'm just kidding.
No, those are great
I actually
movies,
have never seen... I don't even know that I've seen Passion of the Christ, to be completely honest with you. Yeah.
You've probably seen clips, though, from
clips for sure, and I haven't watched The Chosen. I don't know, just can't do it. It's just like, I don't know. But anyways, so I'm definitely going to get judged for this, but it does explain why I'm the middle school pastor.
Okay.
Like Benchwarmers.
Okay,
that's a yes.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, hard no.
Really?
Like, hard no.
Wow.
I'm
disappointed.
Yeah, not my thing. Any sport movie that's got some comedy, like Happy Gilmore, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, viewer discretion advised. Make sure that you read the posted age appropriateness of stuff, and we do not confirm or condone these movies. But in that regard, favorite movies, and thank you for letting us know that.
But
what about for you and your wife? What's your go-to like date night with 2 kids?
So I get in trouble. I'm not the best with dates, but definitely going to go to a restaurant.
Do you remember her birthday?
Yes, it's November 15th.
Why did you?
I had to think about it. I did have to think about it. Ooh, I almost got in trouble there, but I made it.
Yeah.
Anniversary is January 5th.
Who's older?
Nora. So she was born 97. I was born 90. So she's a year and a month, or a year and half a month older than me.
Robbing the cradle.
Yeah, that's right. She is. That is right.
Yeah.
So definitely involves a restaurant of some kind, and probably some kind of like dessert, like a frozen yogurt or ice cream run, or actually probably coffee run, and then a movie. Not movie like theater, but just at home movie.
I feel like nobody really goes when we went to the movies the first time. That was like the first time that I've been to the movies in a long time.
That was the first time I had gone to the movie since COVID started, and I don't even know how long it had been before that. It had been a long time.
Yeah.
So,
in regards to this question next, I'm gonna give you a scenario and then you fill in the blank.
Oh gosh, I'm scared.
If Trevor was to go to the store and then come home and forget something off the list, what would that item be?
Milk.
Milk. Trevor forgets the milk.
I always forget the milk.
Right. Oh man, that's funny.
So can I tell the story?
Yes, you can.
So the other day, and I have a feeling he asked this question because he knew this. So I go to the store like specifically to get milk, I don't know. All I know is I'm supposed to get milk. And I get a text message that says, don't forget the milk. And I replied, I won't, as I'm like 2 minutes away from where I'm supposed to get the milk. And I get home, walk in the door, and the first thing I thought was, I forgot the milk.
I forgot the milk.
So then I had to leave again and go get the milk. And that's
Yeah.
not, I also forgot, I actually got the milk one time and then left it in my truck overnight. And my wife was out of town, I had the kids, and Kurt saved me. He brought me some milk.
There's a thread here.
There
That's
is.
funny.
We're milk buddies.
I've had to buy you milk, and you've forgotten milk.
Yeah, we're milk buddies.
Oh, that's funny. So this question that we're asking everybody in this series is what's the most important thing you've learned that you wish every follower of Jesus knew or needed to be reminded of often? So kind of in your mind, what's the most important thing that you've learned as you've gone throughout this life?
Ooh, partly because of, the way I grew up and my thinking, but I definitely would say the most important thing is to understand that living for Jesus is not about our performance.
Yeah.
If we relate to God based on our performance, like understand that we'll always be disappointed in our relationship with God. And here's the thing, like God doesn't want us to be disappointed when we relate to Him. Like if Jesus is in us, then we have everything we need.
Yeah.
And we can live out in an overflow of what He's doing. And so, I think that it's so important to constantly remind ourselves that, almost like what Nick said a couple weeks ago, like He is enough.
Yeah.
And that He's all we need to live the Christian life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not about our performance, right? It's not it's not about what we do. It's about what Christ has done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff. So and especially going back once again to your personality and kind of how you're hardwired. You're a very, once again, loyal person and stuff. So that's probably a constant struggle for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I, as I was reading this question, I even thought like, even just when it relates to ministry, like when I think of our staff team, like we have some people who are extremely creative, and I think like extremely biblically literate, come up with some amazing ideas, know how to counsel and have amazing conversations with people. And if I'm completely honest, like it would be easy for me to like want to make sure that I'm doing as much as everybody else or saying the right things like everybody else does to feel like I'm being successful in ministry. But I didn't come into a relationship with Jesus by doing anything. Yeah. So why do I don't need to try to perform in such a way that to get ministry to be successful. Yeah. So just how I came into Christ with nothing is how we can also lead with ministry. It's like we just go where Jesus is going.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's kind of going against that thought process of works-based salvation.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I got to do this to get this. It's like, okay, well, if what Jesus did on the cross wasn't enough, then what,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be looking for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, no, that's encouraging. Well, any last thoughts? Once again, this podcast and resources to first and foremost our Connect group leaders, but then leaders across Centerpoint and people. Your family will probably watch this. Yeah. People back in my hometown, a bunch of different followers. We had some out of country viewers and
really?
Listeners. Yeah,
that's awesome.
On the stat report. So I don't know where that is, maybe some missionaries or something.
Hey, that's pretty awesome.
But any encouragement to a leader that is in the thick of it, they're going through life, trying to lead, trying to follow after Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't give up.
Yeah.
Like I would almost like want to echo some of the things Paul told different churches and groups of believers as he was writing. Like I think of Galatians. Like don't become weary in doing good, because at the proper time you will reap a harvest. Yeah. I think of like different times Paul said things like forget what lies behind and press on for what lies ahead. Like there's going to be times where ministry is extremely difficult and it can be discouraging, but focus on Him and press on for what lies ahead. I think of Paul saying, take heart. Like even he says, rejoice in your sufferings. Like, yeah, we're probably not going to experience like physical suffering here, but yeah, ministry and loving people can be physically exhausting, emotionally tiring, taxing. But like, and I almost want to think like for us in our context, it could be like spiritual suffering. Like we want so badly and desire so deeply for people to get it, for people to understand who Jesus is and what it means to follow him, that is almost like our form of suffering sometimes. And so I would say like rejoice in those sufferings, like because it's going to produce endurance. Yes. Endurance produces character, and character produces hope. So take heart, don't give up. Keep focusing on him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's incredible reminders, even for me, even just listening to that. I mean, what a reminder, especially when it comes to not giving up, because so easily we want to give up or just throw in the towel. I'll do it next week.
Yeah, like in my context of ministry, like with middle schoolers, it can be so, like 1 week can be like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like these, like nobody gets it, nobody cares. And then the next week it's like you get to see Jesus work.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, so it's like, don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't go based on your feelings, because he's always working.
Absolutely. And for people who haven't really had a front row seat at what's happened in the student ministry, kind of just share briefly what kind of has happened over the course of since you've been here, the transitions that you and Rob have had to lead through. What does that look like? So when you got here versus now, what does the student ministry look like?
Yeah. So when I got here, middle school and high school was all together in one space on Wednesday nights, but we quickly realized that with a couple hundred young people, it can get a little crazy when they're all in the same space. And so we made the decision to kind of do a hybrid model of student ministry where like I focus on middle school students, Rob focuses on high school students, but we even kind of split the night to where middle schoolers come first and we get to really focus on them. Then there's a overlap time where middle schooler and high schoolers worship together, and then high school stays through the later part of the evening, and middle schoolers dip out. But man, we have seen God do like amazing things, like being able to really tailor the ministry specific for middle schoolers. Like, we do a little bit more of like games and that type of stuff, but the connect group time's a little shorter, just attention span. The message is a little shorter. More geared towards their age group. And then high schoolers, the connect groups are a good bit longer and the message is longer. But like we've had a lot of growth, like just for some quick numbers, like we have averaged like 45 more middle schoolers this school year than we did last year. So like it's cool, but more importantly than that, like each week it seems like we have some amazing conversations with students. Like the Holy Spirit's moving and working, and like students are asking really good questions. Like I think they're hungry for more, and I think part of that goes to our culture. It's just everybody's so to themselves and introverted, and they have an online presence, but people desire something more, and they desire the Lord. Obviously, they may not realize it, but He's doing some really cool things in the student ministry right now.
It's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're a part of our staff, and I'm glad that you're over that ministry, because it's just really cool. I mean, from an outsider looking in, and I've only been here for 4 months, so I've got fresh eyes, coming in and seeing all this. It's truly incredible to see what you guys are doing on a Wednesday night, to see all the movement. There's so many logistics, right? So many logistics there.
Marty's behind the camera right now, like, lots of logistics.
Yes, absolutely.
But thanks, man. I appreciate
the
encouragement.
Absolutely. And I'm seriously, I'm thrilled to see what God is doing through that act of obedience, of showing up on a daily basis and stuff of that nature. Any last closing thoughts?
I'm excited for our trip this weekend.
Yes.
Me and Kurt are going. Well, wait.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we're going on.
We are.
We're going to a men's conference.
By the time you see this, we will have already gone.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're going on a men's conference. I'm going to check out another church, see how they do some student ministry stuff, and then see how they do some connect group stuff. So we're excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to do ministry alongside of you, and seriously really encouraged to see how you're leading students. And it's incredible to see, even on a daily basis, see how you're continuing wanting to get better. And so,
well, ditto to you on all those things involving connect groups, because you've done an amazing job, seriously. And this is really cool too.
Yeah.
So.
It's not about performance though, right?
But
we are enough.
But we do have work to do.
That's right. So. Excellence honors God and inspires people.
That's right.
Boom. Mark Batterson quote. Well, hey, thank you for. Don't know. It's not a Gladiator movie.
Dang it.
It's an author.
If it was on Benchwarmers, I'd have known it.
Thank you for watching or listening to this episode. Maybe you're in the car, maybe you're running, maybe you're at the gym where Trevor should have been this morning.
Hey, I'm going.
Maybe you are on the couch eating some Doritos. Wherever you may be viewing or listening to this, thank you for listening. Make sure that you share this. If you have a student pastor or somebody that you know, make sure to share this with them. Just some encouragement. I think you shared a lot of really incredible things and just some insightful reminders for us all. So make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, to subscribe. Make sure that you give a comment on this. Say, wow, Trevor, I can't believe you didn't ever watch Gladiator, or if
comment what your favorite movie is.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's it too. Spotify and Apple, make sure that you follow the show and share this with somebody. And as always, lead as a leader centered on Christ.